Yes, I've shaved my head. Do you like it? Do you like it? I just had an Altoid, and it was good. And it was good. Wish I could muffle out the otherwise all too annoying sounding background noise. But I can't. And if you can't tell already, you're gonna get a surprise. You hear that? No, I'm just kidding. I was faux masturbating. That would be funny. I'm wearing jeans though, so that would be impossible. Plus, it would be more of a smacking sound anyway if I was really going at it. It'd be like yeah. How awesome is it? I tried to make a video before about how we want people to say the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, we want to hear somebody confirm our beliefs about the weirdness of the world. The world is mystical. Reality is a mystical, sacred in the sense of how the religions try to make it. The problem is it's not sacred based upon their dogma, you know what I mean? But in the essence of what they're trying to say, it is a mysterious, a mystical, a sacred place where we have no idea about anything except for the shit that's been discovered by science. And really, science is essential. It is essential. But when you interpret science to be some kind of a perspective or way of viewing the world, it's not. It's a tool. It's a method. So, you know, scientific thinking means that you think in terms of the methods of science, but that doesn't mean that you have some kind of box that your brain's in. No, that's what I mean. Einstein, you know, all of these different kinds of thinkers have a way different way of thinking about science than the people that are not scientists. Okay. The other thing is, you know, we want to hear that we are special, that we are in some way essentially part of the one. We want to hear that, but we want to hear a plausible explanation. And I think that that has a lot to do with or that what I bring to the table, and not just me, but what we bring to the table, the people like me and maybe like math fails, I don't know, you know. By the way, math fails, once again, thank you. You gave me the boost, and I appreciate it. I really do. But as I was saying, we want to hear that UFOs exist or that extraterrestrials exist, and I believe they do. I've never seen any kind of proof that that indicates otherwise. I mean, that it indicates that there are, but I still think that there are. I mean, and I don't think it's illogical to think that way. I mean, there's a lot of shit as far as, and I'm not even talking about like, you know, anything can happen. I'm saying that there's a lot of evidence saying that there is, that there have been visitations or whatever. It's irrelevant though. I mean, if you don't want to believe it, or if I don't need to talk about it to make it more credible. Nobody really needs to talk about it anymore to make it more credible. It's already pretty fucking credible. But the shit that I'm talking about specifically, the shit that I talk about, is stuff that really hasn't been talked about clearly, or that hasn't been really expressed the way that I'm expressing it. So I feel like it is kind of a, it is worthy of not praise, but of attention. I'm not worth any more praise than, you know, any of the other people that have said essentially the same kind of stuff that I'm saying. I mean, there's plenty of people in history that have said the same kind of stuff. I don't get my perspective, you know, from them. I get my perspective from my own way of thinking. But you know, the praise isn't for me. It's for the awesomeness of ourselves. I'm just observing this shit. I'm not making it up or whatever. I'm observing the fact that, you know, and it's not. It's not worth praise to be able to observe really well. That's not cool. That's not something that's really that worthy of praise. What's worthy of praise is the fact that we are what we are. That's worthy of praise. That's worthy of worship. Even worshiping what we are, I think would be worth it. I think that is something that we ought to do. I mean, it's something that we've been programmed to deny because it's something like narcissism. We think that might be narcissistic, but if it's not, because it's not worshiping myself, it's worshiping what we are. There's a difference. There's a big difference, and I think that is essentially all the difference, really. I mean, because you're not because the self doesn't even exist. The self is a construct. It's an aspect of the brain for survival. It's not something that really is something that we can identify with. And once we do identify with it, we get all these problems and the dramas and the crap that comes along with that. When we identify with the mind, we kind of close ourselves off from living. When we identify with the consciousness, we utterly close ourselves off from living. But when we identify with all of the aspects of our personality or our being, like our persona, our ego, our mind, our consciousness, and all the places in between, even the dark aspects of ourselves, then we kind of have a greater appreciation for what we are. And then once we see that we are an aspect of nature and that we are an aspect of the phenomena of reality, then we can more understand that we are not what we think we are, but what we are. We are what we are, but we are what we think we are. And the more we realize that, I think the more we will become mature. And by that I mean we as a species on this planet will become more mature when we realize these things. And like I said, I'm just confirming, I think, what is in the intuition of us all. Because ultimately it is what we are. Ultimately it is what we really think we are. What we really know we are. And yet what we have been told for so long that we are not. In any case, I guess I'm going to have to end this video because last time I went over. But, yeah, you know. And from that also we can get the immensity of with the appreciation, we can then feel the absolute love that exists within us all for what we are. Because we want to love God. And God is what we are, is what everything is. So, yeah, people. It only looks more funny with the bald head. I love y'all. Peace.